Welcome to Sunset News. I am Diana Master, bringing you news, community stories, weather, economic news and much more on this lovely Tuesday evening. Now let's get into the news today. Windhoek for the first time plays host to the International Association of Drilling Contractors, which hosts its Drilling Africa Conference and exhibition at the Hilton Hotel today and tomorrow. With 114 delegates, 27 speakers, 3 exhibitors and 5 sponsors, the IADC has brought the cream of the international drilling community to Namibia to discuss how the industry can rise to meet challenges unique to Africa while still embracing fresh opportunities from onshore to ultra-deep water. This morning, Magishino Petroleum Commissioner, Ministry of Mines and Energy, was the opening speaker at the event, which is strictly accessible only to registered attendees. On the fringes, NTV caught up with Snoor Lutnes of Enhanced Drilling, who shares why it is important for his organization to be here and to show industry players what they can do. Let's have a look.
Yeah, hello, my name is Snoor Lutnes. I work for Enhanced Drilling and we are here in Windhoek, Namibia for the IADC conference, and we are presenting our technology, trying to raise awareness to the operators of what we can do and how we can contribute. And of course the reason for being in Namibia is twofolded. One, the obvious reason, this year the IADC Africa is based here in Windhoek. And obviously, of course, that Namibia is turning into a really big hotspot when it comes to the oil and gas industry. This is where we expect to see a lot of future activity and a lot of action happening forward. So this is the place to be for us.
In our second story, Mines Minister Tom Alwendo has made new appointments to the Namibia National Energy Council today. The NEC is tasked with making recommendations to the minister regarding the effective administration of the National Energy Fund, making recommendations regarding the approval of funding by the NEF to approved agencies, and advising the minister on investment policies with respect to the NEF. John Titus, who serves as Director of Energy in the Ministry of Mines, was appointed as the NEC's chairperson. Other appointments to the NEC include Deputy Executive Director of Industrial Development in the Ministry of Industrialization, Michael Humavindu, Director of Centralized Services in the Ministry of Works, Sem Kadikwa, Senior Technical Advisor to the Minister of Finance, Helvi Philippus, Director of Water Resources Management in the Ministry of Agriculture, Maria Amakali, Financial Advisor in the National Planning Commission, Anna Shatika, Chief Legal Advisor at NamPower, Zoe Nambau, and Executive for Engineering and Technical Services at TransNamib, Bertus Eckstein. The NEC members' appointments were effective 1st of February 2024 and expire on the 31st of January 2027. Now, Namibian journalist and African Union Media Fellow Tiemo Haidula sat down with Emilia Mkusa, Namibian ambassador to Ethiopia, who shares some memories of the late President Dr. Hage Geingob at the embassy, which Geingob officially opened in February 2023 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Let's have a look.
On behalf of the staff at the Namibian Embassy here in Ethiopia, we were honored to every year interact with the President when he comes to Ethiopia. This year, we were also preparing literally to host him, but unfortunately, God has other plans, and as a result, for us to honor him is for us to continue doing our work. He was somebody who liked people who work hard, very hardworking, and so on. And this is what I was telling my staff, that yes, the president is no more, but he left us with so much systems that are working. He left us with so much knowledge. Let us emulate that. And that is what the Namibian nation can do in his honor. continue with the hard work. We are a peaceful nation. We can continue being peaceful in his honor. And to tell you the truth, everybody is surprised how smooth the transition in Namibia went, and it is due to the systems that are in place. So yes, we are now in mourning. We are mourning our president, but also in his honor, let us continue working together. In the Namibian house he was trying to build, he left that Namibian house for us to continue building it until it is completed. The president, may your soul rest in peace.
In a breaking news post, the chairperson of the Irongo Regional Council, Benitha Imbamba, during the first council meeting for the year today, reflected on various familiarization visits done in the various towns since the start of the year. Imbamba expressed both satisfaction and concern regarding the development of several projects in the region.
Honorable Councillors, during the month of January 2024, we have conducted a familiarization visit to Daures, Karibet, and Omaruru constituencies, respectively. The purpose of the visit was, firstly, to introduce the Chief Regional Officer, and secondly, to ensure that the Council Management Committee members are well versed with the progress of various projects under implementation under this calendar year. It is safe to say some of the projects are well on track, while others are worrisome and far behind completion dates. I therefore urge you all to fast track and monitor the implementation of the projects in your respective constituencies and report back. I am happy to report that the water pipeline project in Omachete is progressing well and on schedule for completion. Based on our preliminary findings of these vessels, I should encourage that we strengthen our stakeholder relations with various entities and communities within our respective constituencies.
In another breaking news post, the City of Windhoek has announced that during the first week of the debt relief registration period, 340 pensioners have been successfully registered for debt relief. The registration period started on the 15th of February and will end on the 15th of April 2024. Following Council approval on 30 November 2023, we commenced the planning phase for pensioner registration. While encountering minor glitches, which are normal for any electronic processes, we promptly address and resolve them, said City of Windhoek spokesperson Lydia Amutenya to the Namibian Sun. Last week, leader of the Katutura Residents Committee, Sean Gariseb, told the publication that pensioners showed up with old certified documents, thus prompting the committee to request from City of Windhoek access to police services at the registration points. The initial requirement was for the pensioners to bring their certified copies of their documents with them, but on the first day, some arrived with uncertified copies or copies that were certified long ago, which prompted the city to arrange for the certification to be done on site, Amutenya revealed. Amutenya said that since the start of registration, City of Windhoek has registered over 300 pensioners, indicating a notable turnout. The city said that pensioners can apply on weekdays from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Saturdays from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, the overall passenger numbers arriving and departing on international, regional and domestic flights in Namibia last year reached its highest point since 2019. The full details coming up as we head into economic news after this short commercial break.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity. It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
In economic news this evening, the overall passenger numbers arriving and departing in international, regional and domestic flights in Namibia last year reached its highest point since 2019. The year 2019 is known as the last COVID-19 pre-pandemic year for tourism. According to a report by Simonis Storm last year, the total number stood at just over 1 million, while in 2019 the number was slightly more than 1.2 million. It then dropped to 300,000 in 2020, 350,000 in 2021, and around 900,000 in 2022. The report said that specifically the total number of passengers arriving was 514,533, while the total number of departures was 499,398 last year. The majority of this passenger traffic was recorded at Jose Kutako International Airport, with Walvis Bay and Eros Airport following in terms of traffic. It said that this year, January occupancy rates at hospitality establishments nationwide remained higher than those before the pandemic. However, they were slightly below the level seen in January last year. The report noted that the room occupancy at nationwide establishments were 36.8% in January 2024, compared to 39% in December 2023 and 37.1% in January 2023. It said that in January, coastal regions emerged as the most sought-after holiday destinations, boasting an occupancy rate standing at 55.39%, above pre-COVID levels of about 38%, the highest among all regions. Now let's take a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 23.96 to the British pound, 20.55 to the euro, 19.05 to the US dollar, and 2 Namibian dollars and 65 cents buys you 1 Chinese yuan. All commodities are up save for Brent crude oil, which took a dip of 0.59%, now trading at $82.99 per barrel. Now, after the break, we talk about the military in Guinea, which seized power more than 2 years ago and has dissolved the interim government in the West. We'll be right back with this story.
We are all seeking connection to each other, to the world, to the spaces we exist in.
Poor sportsmanship right now from the lads.
You might be physically ready, your body is ready, but mentally.
Here's another chance, and it is a goal from Vindo Kaha.
Sy sê wie hy is er aan neertrek en daai bal het my grond gepad. Ja, hy het grond gepad en is
But just enough next.
Running that mountain up. Okay, so we will be doing this for the mountain climber. More advanced, slightly advanced.
So is jou trolley reg? Want
I love it. I love it. So then
kickstart our countdown at number 5 with this one.
Op Netwerk TV se Klets Kompas gesels ons nuus van 'n Maandag tot Donderdag. Ons kyk ook na die weer en meer. Stories wat jou raak en stories wat saak maak.
They've made a mistake in denying me bail, and they've made several other mistakes in many other cases.
The channels that teach us something new or reflect our expression. So it goes beyond switching to the right station. It's about choosing the experience that can adorn the present, dressing it with our tastes as we expand our preferences, because what we are actually connecting to is boundless, limitless human energy. And this is the spirit of NTV.
You're still with Sunset News. In international news this evening, the military in Guinea, which seized power more than 2 years ago, has dissolved the interim government in the West African nation and said it will appoint a new administration. Military leaders released a video statement late on Monday to say that directors of cabinet, secretary generals and their deputies would be in charge until a new government was formed. The government has been in office since July 2022. It is still unclear how the dissolution, which the presidency's Secretary General Amara Kamara did not provide a reason for, would immediately affect the country or who the senior members of the new government would be. The military took power in a coup in September 2021 after the country's first democratically elected president, Alpha Conde, was deposed. Under international pressure, military leader Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya had promised to hand the reins of government back to elected civilians by the end of 2024. The country's special forces led the putsch after a long period of political tension in Guinea, which was first spurred by Conde's highly controversial attempt for a third presidential term in 2020. The former president had emerged victorious in an election after pushing through a new constitution in March 2020 that allowed him to ignore the country's two-term limit for presidency and run for a third term. Dozens of people had been killed at the time during demonstrations against a third term for Conde after clashes with security forces. Polish farmers will step up protests on the border with Ukraine on Tuesday, blocking almost all traffic in what they say is a bid to save their livelihoods, but which Kyiv says is damaging its war effort. Farmers across Europe have been demonstrating against constraints placed on them by European Union measures to tackle climate change, as well as rising costs and what they say is unfair competition from abroad, particularly Ukraine. There will be a total blockade of all traffic at border crossings, said Adrian Wawrzyniak, a spokesperson for the Solidarity Farmers Union. Wawrzyniak said that while military aid would be allowed through, all passenger traffic would be blocked, not only lorries. He said there would be blockades at ports and off motorways. The protests mark an escalation of the unrest, as previous demonstrations by the truckers and farmers did not completely block all border crossings. Kyiv says its agricultural exports through Eastern Europe have not damaged EU markets. As exasperation with protests in Poland have grown, Ukrainian hauliers said they planned a peaceful round-the-clock protest at 3 crossings already blocked by Polish farmers. In a comment in the Ukrinform news agency, their representative said they would control movement at crossings, preventing Polish trucks from bypassing the general queue. The protest is planned to last until March 15. Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. Katima Mulilo can expect maximum temperatures of 39 degrees, minimum temperatures of 19 degrees, but clear weather conditions throughout the day. While in Windhoek, we can expect partly cloudy weather with maximum temperatures expected to reach up to 31 degrees and minimum temperatures as low as 22 degrees. Henties Bay can also expect partly cloudy weather with maximum temperatures expected to reach 21 degrees and minimum temperatures 17 degrees, while Ariamsvlei can expect clear conditions with maximum temperatures of 36 degrees and minimum temperatures of 22 degrees Celsius. Stick around after the break. We return with our sports news.
E-Ticket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. Contact events@nhcom.na.
Now in sports news, the remaining weeks of the Deb Marine Namibia Premier League are expected to dish up a thrilling and nerve-wracking finish to the 2023-2024 season. Commerce Nampol FC, African Stars and Ongos FC have been in the three-horse race at the top of the table from the start, all taking turns at the top and still within striking distance. A full 10 points separate them from the rest, with Mighty Gunners, Blue Waters, Eshoke Chula Chula and Okahanja United all on 29 points in positions 4 through to 47. Mathematically, though, all these teams are still in sight of a finish at the summit, provided the three top teams could drop points that could lead towards a dramatic twist of fortune. Analysts expressed excitement over the fact that it is not only one team running away with the league at this point of the season. Isaac Hamata describes the situation as nerve-wracking for those that are supporting the country's top football clubs. Hamata believes it is a fantastic situation for the neutral fans and football in general. Now for the rest of the sports news, we will head over to the Sports Wrap desk, proudly brought to you by Sports Wrap.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with men's tennis first on the ATP Tour. It is Yannick Sinner, the Australian Open winner, that's up to number 3 in the world now, in the world rankings. That is after winning the Rotterdam Open. He beat Alex de Minaur from Australia in the final by 7-5 and 6-4. It is still number 1, Novak Djokovic in the world, and number 2 is Carlos Alcaraz. On the women's side, WTA side of the world tennis, it was the final of the Qatar Invitational, and it is Iga Swiatek of Poland, the world number 1. She beat Elena Rybakina, the world number 4, in the final 7-6 and 6-3. Iga Swiatek remained number 1 in the world, and it is also Elena Rybakina that remained number 4 in the world. The Dubai Tennis Championship, that's on the women's WTA, also started. The first rounds that is being played, the round of 64. And some of the results I can mention there, Sloane Stephens of the United States. She beat Clara Burel of France 6-4, 1-6 and 6-2. That is to go through to the round of 32. And then also Leila Fernandez of Canada beating Bernarda Pera of the USA 6-3 and 6-2. Iga Swiatek will be the number 1 seed. She's also the world number 1, and she will next play Sloane Stephens. That is in the round of 32. And then the number 2 seed in the tournament is Aryna Sabalenka. Sabalenka won the Australian Open a few weeks ago. She took a break, and it's her first tournament back since winning the first major of the year. And number 3 seed will be Coco Gauff of the USA, and number 4 seed at the Dubai Tennis Championship will be Elena Rybakina. On to golf news, there was results from the men's PGA and also the women's European Tour. The men's PGA, it is Hideki Matsuyama of Japan that won the Genesis Invitational. He was 6 shots behind the leader going into the 4th round, but he played a brilliant 9 under par 62 in his 4th round to win the tournament on 17 under par. Southern African interest there, it is Christian Besaidnout. He ended tied for 24th on 5 under par. Then on to the ladies tour. It is the ladies European result. It's the Saudi Ladies International that was played in Saudi Arabia. The winner there, Patita Ranakan, she's from Thailand. She came in with a total of the 4 rounds of -18 and a quite comfortable win with second place Esther Hessenstein of Germany on 11 under par. Southern African interest in that tournament, Ashley Buhai, she was tied 10th on 5 under par, and Paula Rito tied 18th on 2 under par. And to conclude today's international sports news, it's Formula 1 racing news, and the new season will start on the 2nd of March in Bahrain with the Grand Prix of Bahrain. But news from Formula 1 is that Formula 1, the governing body, urged Red Bull to resolve the controversy that's surrounding the team principal Christian Horner. The Christian Horner is facing allegations of inappropriate and controlling behavior. That's toward female colleague, and he's under investigation by his own team. He saw a judge for several hours on the 9th of February. That is part of the investigation, but it has not been concluded yet. So Formula 1 urged Red Bull to resolve the issue. It is Red Bull that will do testing. That is also at Bahrain from the 21st to the 23rd of February. And again, the 2 racing drivers for Red Bull will again be Max Verstappen, the champion of 2023, and his teammate this year will again be Sergio Perez. The first race starts on the 2nd of March in Bahrain. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
And that brings us to the end of our show. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook and all the NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, oneuptwo.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. I am Diana Master, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.